What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, though? Welcome to My Detroit Hustle TV Live. Shout out to everybody checking us out today. Make sure you subscribe to My Detroit Hustle TV on YouTube at My Detroit Hustle TV 6438. Also, you can check us out on MyDetroitHustle.com. On the site, you can check out the page that says My Detroit Hustle TV, and you can link to our interviews and other content we have on the channel. Also, we've got write-ups and other content info about My Detroit Hustle TV. So be sure to check it out. While you're there, make sure you spend some time checking out the other dope stuff on the site. Like I say, it's very dope. MyDetroitHustle.com, the home of the world's hottest underground, independent, and unsigned hip-hop. So today we got a very special guest. This guy is setting things on fire. He's making dope music on his own, dropping videos. He's doing features with the hottest artists, doing crazy shows, just all around making major moves fast. And we're here to get all in his business. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my good brother, Ayoo Bigz. Let's bring him in.
What's going on, my brother?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Listen, okay, there we go. There we go. What's going on with you, man?
Not too much, man. Just a typical Sunday around the house vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just wanted to say I appreciate you having me on the platform. I've been tapping in with you from the beginning, brother. So it's good we finally caught up, you know?
Oh yeah, and you've been moving fast, man. I mean, it seemed like you are moving at hyper speed.
Well, you know, I'll tell you so in the beginning of all this for me, I started rapping when I was a kid, probably like 12 years old. And by 18 or 19, I had a record deal in Canada with Universal Records.
Okay.
And you know, basically I had a 5-album deal with them. I produced the albums. They didn't put them out because they were too street and too thugged out. And you know, at that time, you know, that's the time during, you know, like Mace is in a shiny suit with Puffy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And all that movement's going on. But yeah, I've been doing it a long time, and I took a long break, bro, to be honest. Like street life and you know, arrests, all the fuckery that comes along with it. It took me out of the game for about 18 years, bro. So
wow.
I only been back in the game now 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because you're moving so fast because you already kind of plugged in.
Right. Yeah. Essentially. Okay. Yeah.
Because I saw something like you sent me something and it had music with Dankery Harv, and I'm like, I remember Frank and Dank moved to Toronto way back in the day. So is that where you know them from?
Yes. So Dankery Harv is a good friend of mine. We met when he came to Toronto from Detroit. He used to be an MC at a club called Mad Bar. And that's how we first connected many years ago. And we just kept in touch ever since then, you know what I'm saying? And he had me appear on one of his tracks with a producer named Navi the North. That was probably, I would say, about a year ago now, something like that. But me and Dank go back about 20 years.
Okay, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I did the same thing. I took a long hiatus just because that time that you're talking about, the shiny suit period,
right?
But if you've been locked up for a while, you actually missed a lot of garbage. But
right.
it gets to the point where you're not even a fan of hip hop no more, and I lost my inspiration.
Yeah, I did for a long time, to be honest. Yeah.
But the way I see it now, you know, we have all of these guys like DJ Vlad and stuff like that, where they feel like they culture vultures and stuff, and I feel like it should be people like me that done it back in the day. We should move on and be providing these platforms and take care of the art form and you know, put on the people that deserve to be put on. Then we won't have to worry about other people being culture vultures or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you look at a guy like Vlad, I mean, you know, he's got a big platform, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's never lived the culture, right? I mean, for me in hip hop culture, obviously people are going to look at me as a white guy and say I'm a visitor to the culture. But I mean, I grew up in the street. So people don't know much about Toronto either, right? They think that there's 50 feet of snow. We're all Eskimos. Fucking, they don't know what's up, right? So, I mean, you know, I grew up, I had a hard life in the city. And, lost a lot of friends along the way, and and to keep it a buck, alcoholism and drug addiction ruined my life for 15 years.
Right.
So May 10th that just passed, I celebrated 9 years clean and sober. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Well, that's what I was telling one of my partners.
Yeah.
I was like, in America we have this perception of Canada as being all peaches and cream and stuff.
Right.
But I told him, I said, the guys that I fuck with, their music is the most street. I mean, I can hear. I can hear and I can feel what you're talking about. And I'm like, this guy ain't playing. When I listen to Slick Jack, I'm like, man, this guy is not playing. This motherfucker is for real.
Salute to Slick Jack too. That's one of the homies. Yeah. Yep.
So we got this perception, but I kind of already figured out that it's probably not what we think.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I mean, anywhere you're going to have low income, project housing, the drugs problem. I mean, we're all going to live through the same struggle. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Like for me, growing up in and out of housing my whole life, I would say 95% of my friends were Jamaicans, because in the early 90s, it was a massive influx of Caribbean people into Toronto. So that's why everything that all of us do always has a bit of patois or reggae twist on it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I mean, yeah, like, believe it or not, like, like for me going to grade school in Toronto, actually Scarborough, which is a borough of Toronto, just like, you have 5 boroughs in New York. We have the same thing. And I'm from a place called Scarborough. Okay. And I mean, there was probably about 10 white kids in my whole school.
Okay.
Right. So a big influx of Caribbean culture, and actually that's also when all the Filipinos migrated here as well during those times. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I just feel like we all go through the same struggle, just in different places,
Yeah. I'm kind of skipping around.
That's all right.
You said you started rhyming about 12 years old. How did that go? Like, was it already a scene there? I know back in the day, I used to do shows. When I came to Canada, I used to do shows with Maestro Fresh West. So I know that's still before your time.
Yeah, but I grew up in that time. So, I mean, seeing guys like Wes, shout out to Wes. I known Wes for like 30 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in that atmosphere. And actually, the first rap I ever wrote, I created my own words, and it was to Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos by Public Enemy.
That's like my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, it's one of mine too. So that's how I first started rapping. I just changed the words, and I was always a big dude, so I made it about like, I got a letter from the Weight Watchers the other day. I opened it and read it. They said I was a fat pig, so it was a joke thing,
right,
for me, right? And I just continued on from there. I mean, all the guys in my hood, shout out to Canlish Road in Scarborough. I mean, all of us rapped. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we would do. We would hang out in the underground garage or hang out in the courtyard and rap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you like part of a collective or something, or you always was a solo act, or what?
Nah, I was always the solo dude, But now, I'm part of a few things. Now in these days and age, I'm part of a crew from the Bronx called Marshall Wall. Shout out my man Pete Powers. I'm the one white boy amongst all the Puerto Rican brothers, and I'm also working now with 100 Mad with Fred Rostar from Onyx, right? So I got some stuff going on anyway, so it's exciting times.
Right. Yeah, I see you a lot of pictures. I see you in New York and the Bronx and all of that. And I'm like, this guy is moving around like crazy.
Yeah, I feel like, I find a lot of the rappers now are Instagram rappers, right? So,
right.
You'll never see them outside. You'll never see them at an event. It's just crazy to me. Like, in order to get anywhere in this business, you've got to be outside. You got to be in the mix, or you're kind of doing it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I try and get around as much as I can. Speaking of New York, I got to shout out my boy Pete Powers and the Marshall Wall guys again. Royal Flush is a friend of mine that really plugged me in New York City. Right. Shout out to Royal Flush. God bless them. Beat cancer. And I've had a lot of people open the doors for me over in New York. You know what I'm saying? And I've been very grateful. Very grateful.
Right. Right. Yeah. I definitely can tell that you outside. I can tell that much.
I appreciate that.
So do you have like a deal or a team or something that you working with? Because you are
Well, right
moving
now, all
fast.
my distribution is through 100 Mad,
Okay.
which is Onyx's record label. Well, Fredro and my manager Perry Papadakos run 100 Mad.
Okay.
You
And
know,
how did
so I got some tours coming up with Onyx and stuff like that too. And you know, it's very humbling to be respected by these legends. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on Onyx. You know, I remember being in Young Offenders when Throw Your Guns in the Air came out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I've been a fan from day one, and you know, it's like I got 100 Mad tattoo on my neck here simply because people are like, well, why would you get that so fast? Because to me, it's a big milestone for me to be recognized by my peers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, man, shout out to Fredro, man. Fredro helps me out with a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And
So always.
how did you link up with them?
So me and Fredro started talking on Instagram. He liked my music, and we were chopping it up back and forth through DM. And then I went over to New York to perform at the 50 years of hip hop last year,
Uh-huh.
and I did a few shows with my homie Royal Flush, and we actually went to Queens Day, um, and Fredro and Onyx were performing that day. You know what I'm saying? So picture this now. You know, I'm in New York City, Dolo, with my man Flush, and you know, I'm in the VIP area, and I hear someone yell out my name, Ayoo Bigz. So I'm like, what the fuck? Who knows me over here? You know, turn
Right.
around, and it was Fredro. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we've been connected ever since, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got a lot of stuff coming on the way. Me and Fredro working on an album together. Um, Also, I have another album about to come out through 100 Mad as well that's going to have features from the guys from Onyx and a lot of people on it. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to that.
Okay, that's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Um, I see you define your music as gutter rap. How would you describe
I
that
mean,
term?
okay, so like as far as when I say it's gutter rap, I just basically rap about what I've lived through, what I've seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations, and that's what I mean. I feel like that's where the people relate to me. You know, I'm not. My music now isn't about me driving around killing people or ops and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my day was back in the day. You know, I've graduated from a street kid into a man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so you know, I just talk about things that I've experienced. Right? I even talk about addiction and mental health and all kinds of shit in my bars. You know what I'm saying? Because we glorify the street life, but no one really ever talks about the PTSD that's caused by it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the mental illness that we deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, everyone I hung out with in the city, you know, we all been through the war. You know what I'm saying? So there's only a few handfuls of us left, to be honest, out of my crew. Like most guys are dead in jail or hooked on dope. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the first song that I heard from you was called The Controversy.
Yep.
And by the way, everybody, you can hear that on My Detroit Hustle Radio. It's in rotation. That's a pretty heavy title. What's the meaning behind that title?
Well, I mean, the song Controversy starts with the first bar is these streets done fucked up my head. This shit is real life, right?
Right.
And I'm basing it off of so you know, I grew up all over the city because my parents constantly moved.
Uh-huh.
So if I ever talk about being married to one hood, it's probably Scarborough. But I spent most of my time downtown in an area called Regent Park. I had a lot of friends that grew up there. I had family that grew up there. My father was a janitor at the local public school there.
Right.
And basically, Controversy is all stories of things I witnessed before I was 13.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, crack cocaine sales from the time I was about 12. Um, and just all the stuff that came along with that, right? The violence and the money and the fucking arrests and, you know, cops that had us on an asshole list, you know, that would come around and just harass us on a constant basis and beat the shit out of us before they had body cameras. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
that's where Controversy comes from. You know, it's me telling a story about my life hanging around in Regent Park and another neighborhood called Bleecker. And I actually dedicated that video to two of my homies that lost their life to gun violence in the exact spots that I shot the video.
Okay.
So if you watch it till the end of the video, you know, it's in love and memory of my boy Sean Juice James, who was gunned down in front of his building, and my boy Benny Cloteur. We called him shit. I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Benny from the mob movie. What was that? Benny Blanco, right?
Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Yeah,
Yeah, and my friend, he lost his life in front of the 24-hour store, you know what I'm saying? Right in where I shot that video. So it was a memorial to them, really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And also that same gentleman I'm talking about, Benny, me and him started rapping together when we were quite young as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was the first thing I heard from you, and it was dope.
Also produced by King Bondolero, who is a good friend of mine. And I was also part of the No Face crew here out of Canada.
Okay.
Falcon Outlaw, New Villain, King Bondolero. And King Bondolero and I are working on a bunch of projects together. He's an ill producer, but he's also my hype man, as well as another elite Toronto MC, Che Uno. They're the ones that back me up on my shows. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of who I'm around and stuff like that as far as my circle goes in Toronto. Danielson as well. Shout out to my boy Danielson. You know, he's making a lot of noise. He's putting in a lot of work for a long time. Shout out Ross Fresco too. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that are doing things here in the upper echelons of boom bap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And those are the people I surround myself with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has anybody ever said that your voice sounds like Fat Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
Many times. And I mean, I'll be honest, Joe Crack was a big inspiration to me as a kid too. I listened to a lot of Fat Joe and yeah, I hear that a lot. Sometimes I also hear that some of my stuff sounds like MOP, or some of my stuff will sound Onyxy, but that's the kind of, I like that punchy in the face hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As Sean P would have said, it'll make you punch a school bus. That's the kind of shit I like. Rest in peace to Sean P too, and shout out to Bernadette. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, one of the first, when I started getting in your catalog, well, actually right before I started getting in your catalog, then I hear you on my man Slick Jack's song From the Dirt. And that song is insane.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I love that. Yep.
How did you guys hook up?
Just over social media again, you know what I'm saying? And he asked me if I was down to work with him, and I said absolutely. And I've been listening to Slick Jack stuff anyway. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we just hooked up over social media. So he's in Montreal, Canada, and I'm in Toronto. So that's about a 6-hour drive. It's about the same for me to drive to Detroit.
Right.
We're not far. Like, we border right on each other, right? So Windsor, Ontario borders onto Detroit, right?
Yep, Windsor, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Slick Jack is amazing. You know, I got more shit on the way with him. Also, another guy from Canada that's really amazing is Say Z. And me and Say Z got a couple projects on the way. I stay working, bro. Like every 2 weeks, I try and drop something.
Okay.
You know, and I have about 2 or 3 more albums on the way. I got an album coming up soon with my man DJ Flash, who's the DJ from Justice League.
Okay.
With Ninth Wonder and all them. And he was also the DJ for Big Brother, or Little Brother, sorry.
Little Brother, yeah.
Yep. And you know, my other homie from the Bronx, Alcatraz Ed, he's out in Texas now. We're working on stuff. I got stuff coming with Nickel Plated Beats. I got a lot of projects.
Nickel Plated is fire.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite producers, man. And him and I just started chopping it up, and you know, he's been sending me stuff. So I just started working on projects with him as well.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's fire.
Super
now,
dope.
Also see you gonna be on Jay Roberts' album.
Yeah, I appear on Jay Roberts' album as well. Yeah, okay. Jay Roberts is another guy that's putting up some numbers in the city as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Jay Roberts.
Okay, so when I got into your catalog, the first thing that I listened to was Fuck Around and Find Out.
Right.
Which is extremely dope. But I was confused at first because I didn't even know if it was you. Because like I say, your voice sounds like Fat Joe, and it didn't sound like that then. I was like, is this a feature or whatever? And then after I listened for a while, I'm like, okay, but that one is fire.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And it's funny you say that because when I first started recording again, that was one of my earlier tunes I did, produced by Young Banger, Stu Banger's son. And who's an amazing little producer, man. You know, for his age, he's phenomenal. And you know, when I recorded that song, I was on a medication that was affecting my voice.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll hear me and I'm really grungy. Other times you can hear me and I'm high pitched.
Right.
But I also come from the era of having 20 different flows.
Right.
So I try and switch it up. You know what I'm saying? And the people that listen to me seem to like it. And, you know, I just do whatever I feel like I want to do that day. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting because when I listened to you rhyme, once I got deeper in the catalog, I started hearing. I don't want to say that you remind me of Biggie, but the way that you play around with the flows remind me of Biggie.
Big Biggie Smalls fan as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I got a lot of influence from Biggie as well. You know, I appreciate that. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Biggie's a legend to all of us. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely grew up listening to everything Biggie did. So, and I was actually at the only ever Toronto Biggie Smalls concert,
Okay.
which was in the '90s. It was insane, but yeah, it was a good show.
Now I heard a freestyle the other day you did, and it was talking about losing your wife and alcohol abuse and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a freestyle I did called Blessed.
Okay.
Um, basically, kind of a background life story again. And, you know, basically, you know, the drugs and alcohol um, played a part in my baby mother. Who I'm remarried now. I have a great wife, and I've been married for 8 years. But that's when my child was smaller, and I was going through that. And I think a lot of us as men go through that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And again,
Right.
it's just not talked about. You know what I'm saying? So I lost a lot to the street, you know, and I lost a lot to drugs and alcohol. And, you know, I feel like it's made me the person I am now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just a rapper and you ain't working and you're not at a, you know, Benny the Butcher height, you should be working to get some money. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so at the end of the day, you know, I do street outreach. I work with addicts. I work with people with mental health. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing that for about 6 years now.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
that's part of like I say, the responsibility. You want to step in, and you want to make it where people don't have to go talk to somebody like Vlad or something like that. I
Right.
want to I want to talk to the artist, but I want to humanize. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about you, because the people, they treat us a certain way because they feel like we just talking about busting guns and this, that, and the other. So it's
Right.
good that you talking about real things, and I commend you for exposing yourself like that, because it takes a lot of bravery to talk
For
about
sure, for
that.
sure. And you know, I feel like that it's a necessity because, you know, you're going to get a fan base when you start doing this, right? And you
Right,
got to target your fan base. And I mean, I got a lot of people in recovery that reach out to me and commend me for what I open up and talk about. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And I mean, I'm a transparent dude. You know, you know, in this whole city, I can walk through any neighborhood I want and not have to look over my shoulder, right? So I've never been, you know, a person that's had beef in my own city. Like, you know, I've been very blessed to be good with people from every neighborhood in this city. And, you know, it's because I have the lived experience, like you said, right? I mean, real recognizes real at the end of the day, right?
right.
For sure.
Okay, now the music that I hear, the music that I heard, you got some pretty excellent production. Who are you working with?
So
As far
I got a secret weapon in Serbia.
Okay,
His name is Nar. You know what I'm saying? And he's like my like my spirit animal as a producer. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
if I knew how to produce, that's the shit I'd be making.
okay,
And him and I connected about 2 years ago through a friend of mine in Florida named Phase One Rock, who's also part of Marshall Wall. And yeah, we've been clicking ever since, man. Just he sends me folders and everything he sends me is just like a banger. You know what I mean?
right.
So I've been lucky with him, and DJ Flash has produced a lot of my bangers, like I said, from shit. Fuck man, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh man, Justice League, right? So I've
Hmm.
been working with him, and now I'm working with Nickel Plated, and Fred Rose sent me a bunch of beats. I'm very big on production. Like if the beat don't grab me right away, I'm not fucking with it,
Right,
right? And
right.
you know, I like that hard sound, right? So, and that's what I rap about, so it kind of fits well together.
Yeah, I love the one. I got the blicky on me.
Oh,
That's
on me, that's a
fire.
dope one. That's
That's
produced by
fire.
Nars. That's produced by
That's
Nars too.
fire.
Going to be shooting a video for that real soon as well, I believe. I have a friend who's a DJ in England. His name is Diggy Dub Plates, and he does a lot of stuff with Onyx too when they're over in the UK and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
he's coming in from Ireland next month. He's going to shoot the video for On Me, I believe.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to shooting that.
Right.
Got some more new videos on the way. Seen a Boy Get Killed is another single I just dropped, produced by Again. And I just shot the video with one of the guys that works for Onyx as well. His name's Mad Max. And that visual should be coming out in the next few weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I also saw at one time you were supposed to be going on tour with Nims. I understand that didn't happen. What happened with that?
Something happened with the promotion, the promoters, I guess. So originally this whole tour was put together by Bishop Brigante. Shout out to Bishop Brigante. You know, he's a big part of the hip hop world in Toronto, and then he got very sick with cancer, and you know, he's fighting for his life right now. God bless him. You know what I'm saying? And he sold the tour to another group of dudes because he was sick, and I don't know exactly what happened, but the whole tour was canceled the day before it started.
Right.
Right. So Nems did come to Toronto. He only did one show, and the promotion people or whoever brought Nems, they actually kicked me and about 3 other guys off the show, and only had their own guys open.
Okay.
So it was a big mess up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to mention their names or nothing like that. At the end of the day, I think it was just a hard fumble. I think maybe people bite off more than they can chew. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it didn't happen, unfortunately, but still I went and linked up with Nems at Raekwon's shop here in Toronto, the Purple Factory at 611 Dundas. He had a meet and greet, so me and my wife went down there. My wife is like my partner in crime. She goes everywhere I go. I trust her more than I trust anybody, so she's always with me. But it was good to chop it up with them. I opened for Nems last year in New Jersey as well, so we had a little bit of a relationship because of me opening for him the last time.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, shit happens, right?
Yeah. This is a strange business.
Oh, it is, man. I'm telling you, bro. And you know, that's the sad thing about Toronto too for me. Like, we have so much talented boom bap artists. Like,
Right.
it's ridiculous. But
Right.
we never get played. We never get promoted. Very rarely, unless you're like a drill rapper or you know, one of these younger style rap. I hate the shit personally, but that's just me. I mean, do your thing, have fun with it. It's just not my thing.
Right.
And that seems to be the only thing that's promoted. And through promoting that drill rap, you know, certain podcasts and stuff like that promote it. They're also promoting the violence because there's like 3-4 shootings a day in Toronto right now, right?
Okay.
So that's why I don't really, you know, like you never see like a me or a Danielson or a Ross Fresco, an Ason, a Lord Fury. Like, it's hard to find these guys on these podcasts because they're only concentrated on the fuckery most of the time, unfortunately. Right. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do is American, man. I try and like you say, you see me in New York a lot, and like, you know, all my production comes from other places except for King Bondelero, who I fuck with in Toronto, and Navi the North and a few others. But most of everything I do is based out of New York City.
Okay.
You know.
And how quickly are you able to jump over there?
I could drive there in 8 hours, or I usually fly. Right, so it's like a 45-minute flight.
Okay.
So it's not far at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also very lucky. I have a friend that was incarcerated for quite a time when we were younger, and when he was incarcerated, I always made sure to put some money on his books. I brought him clothing changes for court. You know, I made sure I looked out for his kids when he wasn't around, and now he's in a position all these years later where he's been helping me finance my music career. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you know, shout out to Family Tree Entertainment, and yeah, he's been believing in me before I believed in myself. So a lot of respect goes out to my man there. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, I know we get some time constraints, so I'm just gonna ask a couple more quick questions, and we're gonna get out of here. And like I said, maybe at some other time we can hook up and get deep into it.
Yeah, 100% we will.
If you had an unlimited budget
and
unlimited resources, who would you get a beat from?
Who would I get a beat from? Well, it's crazy you say that, because even without the resources, I got some stuff on the way with Cartoon Beats. It's one of my favorite producers. But if I had I definitely would love an Alchemist beat. I definitely would love a beat from Muggs, and I would definitely love a beat from Primo.
Okay.
I've worked with Vinny Idol, who's another one of my favorite producers. You know what I'm saying? From D Block, originally did all the D Block shit. Now he's got Crazy Fire. He does a lot of albums with my man Caravan Poo, also from the Bronx. Shout out to Caravan Poo.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, things. You know what it is, man? It's been crazy. It's just like I put a certain air out. You know what I'm saying? Like I have an aura that goes out, and when people meet me, they just want to fuck with me. You know, because I'm not a goofy. I don't have ill intentions, and companies want to work with me because I don't drink. I don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? My record's clean now, so I can travel. So it's like a whole new beginning for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in my opinion, right now in the state of boom bap hip hop, age don't mean shit.
No, it don't. It don't.
And I can create my own lane. Like this is how I drop it to people, and I'm gonna drop what Flea Lord dropped to me. Right? If you got 1,000 fans that'll spend $100, right?
Right.
Every 4 months on projects and merch. I mean, you're getting paid.
Right.
So I mean, you know, I'm not trying to be the Migos or fucking, you know, whatever's fashionable this week. That's not what I'm doing. If my music, what's crazy is like I just opened for Stove God a few months ago, and all the fans that came up to me for autographs and pictures were all under the age of 25.
Right.
Which was amazing feeling. You know what I'm saying?
And see that's what kind of drew me back in. Now on the internet, you can target who you reaching out to. You don't have to play the game, like you don't have to try to get on the radio and all that. And that's really what turned me off the most, is that chasing the radio and the latest
Yeah, I
fad
hated
and
all
all
that
that.
too. I went through that too with Universal, and it's just a shit show. You know what I'm saying?
So
Now I can target my market, and I can do exactly what they want. You know what I'm saying? And like if you drop, let's say an LP, you drop an LP in a hoodie, you sell it for $100. That's $100,000 every 4 months, and I mean, 400,000 a year is okay for me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's what the focus is on, that touring. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I enjoy hip hop. I enjoy the culture. I've been part of it my whole life, and I'm just blessed that I'm still here and alive to be able to even do this shit. You know what I'm saying? After the shit I've been through, so just grateful at the end of the day.
Right. So what are you promoting right now? What you got out right now that you're trying to move?
Well, right now, you know, my last album dropped with 100 Mad. That's Where Do I Begin? It's been getting a lot of play and doing very well. Physical copies are on the way just now. And I have a new album that's coming out in about 3 months. I don't have a title for it yet. But like I said, I got about 4 or 5 albums in the tuck. So now it's just staying in the motion of the algorithm and you know, working on a schedule and doing certain drops at certain times. You know what I'm saying? But the next thing I do have coming out will be that video for Seeing a Boy Get Killed, which is shot down in the heart of Skid Row in Toronto. So it'll be a good view for people to see what it is I talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you and follow the whole Ayoo Bigz movement.
Yeah, man, that's it. It's Ayoo Bigz everywhere. So AYOOBIGZ, and it's on everything. It's everywhere, right? So even if you go and you were to Google my name, you'll see everything come up there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm on all the platforms. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thanks for stopping in to holler at us. It was a pleasure having you, and hopefully we'll do this again in the future. This is My Detroit Hustle TV Live. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Peace, and we out of here.
Peace.